the Blackstone 22-inch Adventure Ready griddle and seasoning. We're going to do the walk around. We'll do an egg test. We'll do the break test. We'll season up, show you guys how we do all that. Super excited about this little bad boy being on the deck. You guys stay tuned. All right, to get started, let's unbox it. Excited for sure. So, why? I'm sure a lot of people are asking why. I have preached 36-inch 4-burner griddles the whole time I've been doing this, just because I feel like it gives you that little extra space to do stuff. Doesn't mean you use the space all the time, just means that you have the ability to use the space when you need it. I get a ton, and I mean a ton of comments. We go camping, we go RVing, it's just the two of us. I don't need a 4-burner. What would you suggest? Well, ironically right now, we're going through the same thing on Pellets and Pits, my brand new YouTube channel, that people are people are asking the question, why would you ever buy this smoker when you already have this smoker? And the answer is still true today, is because I cannot replicate, I cannot communicate, and I can't answer honestly unless I've stepped in your shoes. Since there's that many people out there wondering about what it's like to have a 22-inch griddle or a traveling griddle or something like that. What about hibachi? What about this? What about that? The only way that I can do it is to do it. So we took advantage of the Black Friday deals just like you guys would have. And this is what we got. I waited for the orange that came out. You know, honestly, I almost got it last year. But I cannot remember exactly what happened, but I just missed the boat on it. And it kind of like fell by the wayside. And then this year when they started teasing it, then they came out with an orange one. Being a Tennessee fan, and obviously my brand colors have a little orange in it, I was like, hell yeah. So here we are. The 22-inch Blackstone Adventure Ready. A $100 wine voucher. Boy, my wife will use that. Instructions, we can get that out later. Probably the easiest griddle in the world you can imagine putting together. You literally have 4 peg screws on the bottom. Screw those in. We've already bought the propane extender adapter hose. Considering how much I want to use it, I just didn't feel like it was fair to do the 1-pound tanks. I think the 1-pound tanks average, didn't we say $8 a tank?
Yeah, 7 or 8.
And when I take mine to Costco to get refilled, a 20-pound tank, just your standard propane tank, it costs me anywhere between like $8 and $10, sometimes $9 and $12, depends on the price. Just to give you an idea. I know it's portable. I know you can't take your 20-pound tank all the time, but if you are going to use this at the house, I would highly recommend the bigger tank. It's just more efficient. And believe it or not, we actually lucked out, found a deal on Amazon, and it was here within, 2 days? So we will have a link to this listed in the description below. Highly recommend it. Plus, it's Blackstone branded, so anytime I like to hook up stuff, I typically like to stay with the same brand. You can obviously go another way, but to me, it's just worth it. So, all right, here we go. Some things I noticed right away. We're not dealing with just a straight 4 bars. God, this thing seems so little. Anyways, got the little H right there. I'm excited about that. The reason is I just think it'll put off a little bit more heat. Maybe it'll get some more heat around it. First things first, before I even put the griddle on here, what are we supposed to do first?
Season.
Thank you. But before you season.
Wash.
With?
Soap and water.
Thank you. All right. Here is the griddle. Ooh. It's got reinforcements in the back. I think that's pretty neat, just considering how little it is. So we will get this washed with soapy water, dried off, and ready to season. She is all put together. She has been washed with soap and water, and she has dried. We have plugged it up to our propane tank, and now we're going to season this up. First, you need to turn it on. That probably helps. Let's see here. Well, my face is down there. That's always a good place to put it. There we go. Give it about 10 minutes. You know me, I just can't do everything normal. So, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 minutes into the process of the 10-minute warm-up time, I just started noticing things, so I grabbed my gun out. I'm just going to double check before I even mention it. So, we're at 550. And then over here, oh, good. About 502. So what's happening was I noticed that my right side was about 100 degrees cooler consistently than my left side. I kept looking, the flames looked right, my temperatures are right. And then, things start happening in the back of your mind. What about wind guards? What about this? What about that? Even though it's not even windy. I mean, I wouldn't even consider today a windy day. I ought to have an open fire on one of my pits today if I wanted to. But the wind guards in front of this And so I just turned it facing the wind and it's caught up quickly. So my guess is just because the bars are probably so small that little things like that can affect you. So when you do set this up somewhere, just keep that in mind that maybe you'd want the front, if you can, facing the wind. If not, a temp gun would work really well. So since we are up to temp, it has been 10 minutes. Just to clarify, I have not grill bricked this, and I have not sanded it. I've had luck lately not doing it, so I feel like I want to keep going with that. Thin coats, we've all been there before. We have plenty of videos of how to season. Make sure you get the sides inside the griddle. And outside the griddle as well. It's actually seasoned up really nicely. The front part's cooler, you can tell that right away. Get those sides really good. So we're just looking for that smoke to dissipate, to stop smoking. And then we'll just keep adding our layers. I have absolutely no idea how many layers, but I do have a plan B in mind if I don't like the way the seasoning comes out. I've been excited to do this for over a year. It's a cheap system, it's a cheap mode, but you can't do it on all of them, but you can on this one. So we'll see if we do it. I'm only going to show you on the second one because it gets redundant. It's the same process over and over again, just depends on how many layers you do it. But a lot of people are getting new griddles right now, and seasoning is going to be probably #1 topic. If you noticed before we put the oil in there how much smoke was rolling, now you see how little smoke there is. That's your telltale sign to go and add your other layer. Remember, thinner layers are better. I'd much rather you have 5 to 7 layers of thin layers than 4 to 5 to 6 layers of thick layers. It's going to benefit you more in the long run. Thinner layers are better. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue the season. If you guys follow me by now, you know that there's 2 tests I like to do, and we're getting them both knocked out before we even get started. I ain't playing around. The griddle's cooled down. We're done seasoning. I like to check an egg test. Okay, there's an egg test and a bread test. We can bring it back up to temperature for the bread. To be honest with you, you can just tell the way the bread's going to come out. It's uneven there, it's uneven there, and it's uneven all across the front. In the middle is going to be the hot zone. You can just tell it by the way your griddle's seasoned. So about 350 is a little bit hot for me for eggs, but it's on its way down. See how my butter is reacting nicely? It's not burning or anything like that. Golly, this is hard to do.
So high.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find another way to do this. Feels like I'm hunching over to eat a sandwich. So the point of the egg is obviously if it's seasoned, the egg is going to come off smooth. If it's not, then you know you got a little ways to go. In the Navy, every single morning we started on stainless steel commercial style griddles. We actually just take whole eggs, warm it up, add oil, and then beat the eggs into the griddle. Whether people agree with it or not, that's how we season our griddle to start the day every single morning. So shells and all, because we just put them right to the grease trap. And typically, let's be honest, the more griddles you season, as soon as you put the egg down and you can see the flow of the egg, as soon as you put the egg down, you know if it's seasoned or not, and it's seasoned. I can tell you that right now.
How many coats?
We ended up doing 6. Honestly, I was just hanging out here. It's a beautiful day. Oh, I just want to give a quick shout out to the griddle group because of you guys. This is what the information's all about. What about wind guards? I've probably been asked a million times by now. My response has always been, since we have a deck, I don't really get a chance to experience the wind like some people do because there's no protection. The wind typically flows the way you guys are looking at it from right to left, and I cook on this side. So between this or that blocking the wind, or just the fact I've had 36-inch burners that have a little bit more BTUs, I've never felt the wind. But on this bad boy, I'm telling you, you put these 2 little doohickeys right here on there, and we got these from the Dollar Tree or Dollar General. They're on like $1.25. It definitely helps. So amen to the griddle group. Yeah. She's seasoned. I'm going to turn it on again on low. Have no clue how low temperature is, but we're averaging about 300 100 to about 280 right here. So I'm just going to throw the bread on. I don't care about warm-up times. I don't care about really a lot of stuff. The only reason why I do this, because literally for a lot of the brand new griddlers out there, what I found out is if you don't have a heat gun right away, then you put your bread down and all it's going to show you is how your griddle is reacting to temperatures. So when you flip the bread over, if this side's light and this side's dark, then you know this is a cool spot. So you learn to cook with your griddle. Each griddle's different, and that's what we learned to do. Do we need to put bread right there?
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
How the heck I can never find a loaf with enough bread in it? Doesn't take long to figure out your hot and cold spots. So this is what I'm looking at when I do it, and this is the whole reason why I started doing it. So I'm just going to show you really quickly. You see how that side of the bread's browner and this side of the bread's lighter, which means, I mean, your burner's only like right here. So the left side of your griddle is going to be cooler. Well, you come over here, it starts picking up in color because this is the middle of the griddle, which it gets hotter. See that? And then you come over here, and if you lift it straight up, you see the same thing. There's browning because it's closer to the center, and then it's lighter over here. So it doesn't matter how long it's been on there, whether it be 600 degrees or 400 degrees. You're just looking to see your hot and cold spots. And then I thought down here, yeah, there's just no color because, as you can see from the side, can you show them the side angle? It's hanging off. So there's no burners underneath it, which is why you would not get any color. So that's a cool zone for you. And then just moving up to the top, I think the middle layer is the same way. That should be pretty close to that. So right there is the hottest part of the griddle, which makes sense. And then up here, you should have, so that should be light because that mirrors that image down there. And then this, when it's folded down, is closer to the center. And that's what you're looking for. It's not anything crazy. You just learn your hot and cold spots, especially if you don't have, there's a perfect example, if you don't have a heat gun. So now when you're cooking, you know that you can push your food to the front part of you to get it cooled down. You can push it to the sides to cool down. And your back spot's a little bit, you know, it's not as bad as the front being cool, so you'll use that to your advantage. It's all just learning your griddle, all learning your equipment, and that's what you get from it. I mentioned in the video that this is something that I might do, just depends on how the seasoning turned out actual outside on the 2-burner system itself. I got this idea from the Cajun Ninja, and we've been talking back and forth a while back, and he said that he was going to try to season his actual griddle on his stovetop. And I was like, what? He goes, well, if you think about it, there's unevenness on the griddle. I've got an open fire, like an open flame, gas system like this outside on my porch. And I wonder if I could just oil it and then just move the griddle around to make it more even. And then he had a chance to do his dad's griddle when he got his, and he threw his whole thing in the oven. And I was just floored. I was like, there's no way it's going to work. But in reality, if you think about it, it would work. So I held this back. And this is one of the reasons why I was excited to do it. I'm not saying this is for everybody. I'm just telling you this is exactly what I did. So there's no confusion. Grapeseed oil. Doesn't take near as much once you get it seasoned. But if you can see how dark and even this griddle is now, but it's everywhere. It's on the backs, it's on the sides, and those are typically like the front. Those are typically the places that don't get seasoned well because the way the structure's made. So I've got the oven set on 450. I'm going to get this oiled really well. You don't want a thick coat, thin coat. And then we're just going to put it back in there for another hour. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's done.
So it's basically like seasoning your cast iron skillets.
Yep.
In the oven.
Yep. Get the insides, get the outsides. The one thing I didn't worry about was the bottom of this because it hits the flame so often it's not going to be necessary. But go ahead and get those sides. Upside down. Absolutely perfect. In the oven it goes for 1 hour. Well, there is the Blackstone 22-inch Adventure Ready. To be honest with you, we're excited. We've been looking forward to this idea way back when Black Friday happened. They released the colors, like I mentioned. I was so excited to get the orange. Just be able to relate to you guys, right? I know you guys take it camping, RVing, tailgating, you name it. I want to do it as well. And another point What about full cooks? What about full breakfast? What about full hibachi style dinners? What about this? What about that? I cannot give you an honest feedback until we actually do it ourselves, so that's why I'm excited to do it. Like always, when we take hold of a new griddle, however you want to
break in
a new griddle, we like to do a cheesesteak. So I'm going to have to come up with a fancy way to do a cheesesteak, something that we've never done before so it doesn't get redundant. Or we might just have fun with it, do traditional. I don't know yet. You guys will have to wait and see that one. So the first cook will be you named it, cheesesteak. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share it with your friends. Peace.